Spiritual Directors International have asked me to do a webinar series on Celtic wisdom. That's designed for spiritual directors, but I don't think it's just applicable to them. It's using aspects of a Celtic understanding to call in nature in practical ways. Alright, so like we're going to do fire ceremony, we're going to look at songs that open the heart, you know, all the stuff that I do. They've just packaged it with SDI language, and it's open to the public as well. It's $119 for the 4-part. There's 4 90-minute episodes, and there's scholarships available too. So if you're interested in that, please come. It's a big deal. I'm very humbled that they've asked. Yeah? So much of what spiritual direction is invisible. You can't see what the person is doing. You can't see listening. But listening is far more than our ears. We all know this. But who is listening in the room with us? Where do we end and our ancestors and the trees and this living world begin? Because I think that there's this vibrant, alive world is in our sessions with our one-to-one sessions. Anyway, how can we harness that? How can we call in the wind? How can we bring in stories from long ago that, first of all, might be a useful wisdom for our directees, but secondly, expand the vibrancy and the life quality held in the room or held between you and the other person on Zoom. So a symbol that I want to draw on is that of the Celtic knot and of weaving. I've chosen the title for a reason. I really believe it's our job to weave the threads, to take the light and dark threads, life as it is, and weave it into something that is whole and beautiful, that is the Celtic knot doesn't have a start and an end. It's a multi-dimensional, never-ending braid, and I find that to be a great symbol for not just sitting back and receiving our life, but very actively showing up, very actively loving. And sometimes that way of weaving looks like doing nothing, looks like listening another into wholeness. It is very subtle, but it's about us using our will and aligning it with a much bigger purpose. It is my hope that this will be a very vibrant and alive webinar series where the discussions are rich and passionate, where the songs and the stories take ideas and make them beautiful. Even in our silent listening, the Celtic tradition adds vibrance, adds tools, adds wisdom that is so, so helpful in the soul work of spiritual companioning. In my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem. In my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem. my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem. In my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem. In my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem. In my heart is the road, and I will not be hurried. In my heart is the road, bless my feet on the journey to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem, to Jerusalem.